Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I am filming a spend my morning with me. My day did start at 4 a.m. and I basically recorded up until I went into work. I do go into work at 8 a.m. So the reason why I woke up extra early today at 4 was because Luis does leave for work at 5 and I was going to prepare the chilaquiles, so that gave me about an hour. I definitely don't wake up this early every single day. I am really dormilona, so I'll prepare it like the night before and then I'll get up like 4:30, 4:45 the next day and just throw it in his lunchbox. Sometimes he does prepare his lunch himself the night before, and that helps me because I'm able to sleep in. I'll just like get up, say goodbye, half asleep, and then he's good to go. But back to the chilaquiles, I did already have the handmade tortillas stored in the fridge that I had made I think the day before. So I just cut them into cubes and then I was putting them into my bowl while I got through all of the tortillas. So then I did have to dorar las tortillas. I added some vegetable oil to the pan, and as you can see, I ran out. Why am I always running out on camera? I am so sorry. I promise it's not always like this. But into a little charolita, I put in some napkins so it could absorb the extra grease. Hella skinny. And then I just put that to the side. I started frying the tortillas once the oil was hot. It did make a salpicadero. I know you guys can see that on camera. I promise I did wipe it after. But I usually put in my tortillas for about 1 to 2 minutes. I like them extra crunchy, but I did have a lot of tortillas, so I was taking them out a little bit sooner. But the crunchier, the better, because once you add the sauce, they do get a little bit soggy. So if you have them crunchy from the beginning, they taste so good by the end. So I'm just adding them in, trying not to burn myself, and then I am draining them out into the charola that I showed you guys. So I did this for a while because, like I said, it was a lot of tortillas, but it was okay because I gave Luis some for lunch and then I did take the rest to work for my coworkers and me. Me and Betta ate them at work and they were so good. This is my water break. I guess I was thirsty, and then we were all done frying the tortilla chips and I started wiping the oil here because se salpicó bien feo. And then I did drain the excess oil that was left over in the pan after frying the tortillas, and I wiped it down, put the tortilla chips back in, and added the salsa. So you do want to let the salsa boil, so I was just making sure all the chips got covered in the salsa, and then you want to let it boil so that the chips can absorb the flavor, and like I said, they will get a little bit soggy. This is me trying one of them and the crunch. Yum. But yeah, they were really good. It was 4 a.m. and I was tasting chilaquiles, so best believe I had a tummy ache. But anyways, on the side you can see me getting out another cazuela. That is where I'm going to be making the huevitos. I do like to make them sunny side up, which is huevos estrellados. Whenever I make chilaquiles, it is a must. They taste so good together. And then I didn't make frijoles fritos, but usually that too, and it's so good. And here are my huevitos. I didn't run out of eggs, surprisingly. And then I did have some aguacate that I cut up on top, but I didn't show it on camera, so that was my bad. Anyways, I am packing up Luis's chilaquiles in his bowl. And then those are the huevitos that I was cooking. I was adding the salt to them here. So I did plate that up for Luis, and then I did put the pink lid on top, of course. It was 4:52 a.m. by now, so I was rushing to pack it all up in his bag. So I started with the chilaquiles. I did put some queso fresco and some crema in that dish. I added a chocolate protein shake, which he said didn't taste good, my bad. I washed him an apple and I covered it in a napkin so that it wouldn't get dirty again. And then I did add a Greek vanilla yogurt, Walmart brand because they're cheaper. And then I have some desechables that I put in there, some silverware. He usually gets them at like Wawa or Chipotle and he just brings them home, so then I packed those for him. Then I added some napkins, his water, and a liquid death drink. He's obsessed with those. I don't really get the hype, but yeah. Then I added my cute little love note, and I closed that up for him, and it was just in time. It was like 4:59, and surely enough, he came over. He got his lunch bag. I gave him a little kiss. And le di la bendición para que Dios lo acompañe y me lo traiga con bien de nuevo a mi casita after a hard day of work. So after he left, I did start cleaning up my mess. So I did start by doing my dishes. I cleaned all of the ones that I used to make the chilaquiles, and then I think I had a couple in there already. But I washed the dishes, and then I did start wiping around the sink. My mom always taught me, si lava los trastes, si no limpias el fregador, no se nota que limpiaste. So always make sure to wipe everything down, to scrub inside your sink, rinse it off, and just wipe everywhere around it. Clean your soap dispenser, everything like that. Para que se note la diferencia, it just looks so much better, I promise you. So as you can see, that's what I was doing here, just making sure I wiped everything down. And then when I'm done doing the dishes, I always like to scrub the inside of the sink with soap, and then I was rinsing that down as well. Once I finished, I was packing up the leftover chilaquiles because I was going to take them to work, like I said. So then I obviously had to go wash this pan and this spoon. Since I had already finished doing the dishes, I went back and did that. And after I cook, I always like to clean my stove. I know it was still hot, you guys can see the steam, but I try not to do that. For the sake of this video, I just went ahead and kept going. I do like to use dish soap because it cuts down any grease that got on the stove while you were cooking, any food crumbs and everything like that. So then I wiped it down with my rag. After your first wipe, you always have to go rinse it because it's too soapy to keep going. Y ya después le di otra pasada and made sure to get all your edges, all the handles, everywhere that your hands go while you're cooking. Don't forget the stove knobs and everything like that at the top, which is what I was cleaning here. Make sure to get the counters, basically any area that you were touching when you were cooking, because you don't want any cross-contamination or any dirty surfaces left. I did finish up by sweeping my kitchen floor, just getting any food or crumbs that may have fallen while I cooked. So moving on, I did jump into my skincare. Once I was done cleaning the kitchen, I brushed my teeth and then I used the CeraVe cleanser. I did apply some niacinamide and some moisturizing serum from Glow Recipe. I did really like how this felt this morning. And then I finished up by using my CeraVe Daily Moisturizing Lotion. This is great because I have combo skin. So if I use a moisturizer that's too thick, I'll feel greasy throughout the day. But if I use one that's too thin, then I will have dry skin. So I feel like this is just a great in-between. Then I did finish up with my Laneige Lip Sleepy Mask. You guys already know I love this stuff. It just feels so good on the lips, and my skincare was complete. I then did get dressed. I put on my red scrubs this day. I put on my medalla de bodas. I love it. It has a Virgencita on it. My sister Lupe got it for me. And after that, I did apply some deodorant because it does get hot. It's July. I'm just always cold at work because the AC is so strong. So then I did apply some perfume. I did go a little crazy with it. It is the Wild Rose by Coach. It smells really good. Definitely recommend this one. And then I started doing my hair because I did look a mess. I started by spraying water all over my hair just to dampen it up. And then I did go in with the Garnier Sleek and Shine Anti-Frizz Leave-In Conditioner. Long name, but it's a really good product. I like how it makes my hair feel. It makes it soft, takes away the frizz like it says. It smells super good and it helps detangle it a little bit. It refreshes my curl because I always wash my hair at night, and then once I sleep it looks all crazy the next morning. So I just did a half up, half down. I try to make it look as neat as possible, but girl, by the time I get to work, because I ride with the windows down since it's really hot, and like I said, my AC doesn't work, so I get to work looking a mess anyway, but at least I try. So then I put on my Hey Dudes. I love these shoes for work. They're so comfy and they're cute looking. So I put those on with my red scrubs. And then I did my bed. So I took off my pillows, and don't judge me, I do have like 10 blankets on there, but I get really cold at night because Luis always has the AC blasting. This is me shaking my sheets, sacudiéndolas, just in case, there's any debris, any basuritas that might have gotten on there. So then I'm putting on my Virgencita blanket. I got these at the Pulga. They're so cozy and warm. They're basically like the tiger blankets, just different design. They're so thick and cozy. So I got that one, and then I also have my Hello Kitty blanket. Same thing. I got it at the Pulga. Very warm, very soft. Then I did go in with my colcha. I believe I got this one at Ross. It's a very pretty lavender floral print. I like the quilt ones just because they look nicer on the bed. I feel like no se arrugan tanto. They have a nicer, cleaner look to them. The quilted comforters are also a lot more light. They're just more convenient. They're easier to wash and dry. They're not as bulky as the original comforters for storage as well. So I just really like the quilted comforters. Definitely recommend if you guys haven't tried. They come in such pretty designs too. They're always at like Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, those kind of stores, and they usually do come in a set. Like mine here, it came with the quilt itself, and then obviously the two pillow covers that match with it, and I just think they're so pretty. And I do always have to add my squishmallows. I cannot sleep without a squishmallow, guys. If you guys haven't tried a squishmallow, they are so comfy, so soft. They stretch, they literally mold to your face. I love them. I put Luis on and now he can't sleep without them. So I did finish up doing my bed, and then I went ahead and switched over to my laundry. I like putting in a load to wash before I leave to work. And then once I get home from work, I just put it to dry, and then I'm able to fold it. So I did put in a dark colors load in. I do flip everything to the right side. I don't know how you say that in English, pero lo volteo pues todo al derecho. And then I put it into wash. I always use softener. I know some people don't, but I just love the scent that it adds, and it makes the clothes softer. Shout out to my cousin, which she got me like a whole bundle of like soaps, detergents, and everything for my wedding. I loved it. So I moved on to my sala. I did have to start by putting somebody's controls away because he had been gaming the night before and he didn't put his stuff away. And then I was just fluffing the pillows. I do remove the blanket and sacudir that as well, just because when we're sitting there, I mean, sometimes Luis has snacks, so there's crumbs and everything like that, so I just like to shake it all off. And then I do stretch it back out again. I tuck in the blanket. I have the blanket because my couches are like off-white kind of, and I just get really scared that they'll get stained, especially the top, because as people walk in, that's usually where they touch. So I keep the blanket on there for protection, and it just makes the couch extra cozy. And then I put all the pillows back. I do love to spray my couch and my curtains with this fabric softener spray. It smells so good. And then next, like I showed you guys in my previous video, I do like to sprinkle this powder on my carpet. So you do need to leave it on for about 10 to 15 minutes. So I went ahead and sprinkled that before continuing my chores. I did go outside to feed my bunny. This is Mona. She is my bunny, but she lives outside my house. She basically just roams around the neighborhood. And she'll come when she's hungry and I'll feed her, but she's so cute. I love her so much. I'm starting to think she's a boy though, because I feel like she would have gotten pregnant by now. But that's her. And then I came back inside. I went ahead and swept the rest of my house, since you guys did see that I swept the kitchen earlier. So I went ahead and finished that. I did my hallways, the sala, the dining room. And after the powder had been sitting on the carpet, I went ahead and vacuumed that up with my Shark vacuum. I do really like this vacuum. I got it on sale at Target, but it's so good. It sucks up the carpet very well, and then it does floors really good too. So after I vacuumed, I ended up putting the vacuum away in my bedroom, and once I was in there, I was tidying up like my vanity area, and basically my bed got too tempting and I just took like a 5-minute nap. I was getting so sleepy at this point, and then when I got up from my nap, estaba bien entumida. So I had a sweater on, and that's why you see me on with the sweater. So the nap helped me, and I folded up some clothes that I had in the dryer, and then I started packing up my lunch. So I did put in the remainder of the chilaquiles, and then I put some water to boil because I am going to make my morning coffee. I'll show you guys how I make it. And then in my lunchbox, I went ahead and started packing. I put in some yogurt, some mozzarella cheese snacks that like Luis buys from Food Lion. And then I washed an apple, I wrapped that up, and then I cut up some pepinos too. I put that in my cute little Hello Kitty container. I got this at Walmart. It's so cute. I think it was like $4, so I recommend. Then I did pack up some green teas because I get really cold at work and I like drinking those. Packed my iron because I am anemic, some water, and that was it for my lunch bag. And then I do start to make my coffee. So even though it's iced coffee, I do boil the water so that the instant coffee can actually dissolve, and I basically just mix that in a separate cup. And then in the actual cup that I'm taking it in, I add some ice, and then I pour the hot coffee over it to cool it down. And then instead of coffee creamer, I will use like a protein shake as the creamer, usually in the flavor vanilla. It tastes really good and it is very filling. It does last me until lunchtime sometimes. I don't need anything else other than the coffee. I don't drink it like this every day. Sometimes I just do use the sugar-free coffee creamer, just depends. And I usually take iced coffee like once a week. So that was it. I did get my lunchbox, my coffee. I headed outside to the car and it was sunny outside, which was nice, and then I went ahead and turned on the car. I like to give it a second before I take off. Me persino, and then I am on my way to work. I do like to leave my house around 7:30. My drive to work is about 15 to 20 minutes with traffic. We do have to be there around 7:40 to 7:45. I do like getting there a little bit early and just setting everything up, getting ready for the day before our first patients at 8 a.m. walk in. I do work at a dental office. Our day is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I was basically almost at work at this point, and thank you guys so much for watching. That is it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye.